Alright, this is Comcast. The date is... Fuck timelines. Alright, today we've got Laser.
Hi everyone, it's Laser Angel again.
Visaggio Rain.
Hey.
Valkyrie.
Welcome to hell.
Qcast.
Right here.
Jude.
Hello.
Kalis.
Right here.
And Rather Dashing.
Happy doobie.
Alright, let's talk about Project Phoenix. I'm
Grab
not grabbing
deal.
that deal. I'm not grabbing
Grab deal.
it. Laser.
I was really excited when it first came out, and then I saw the art, and I kind of got progressively less excited, but after talking to my friends, I was thinking, oh wow, another $80 I'm going to have to put down on this game, and then it came to the Battlemaster and the Thunderbolt. I was like, okay, maybe another $40 to put down on this game. And then Chris Roberts did his live cast, and it was over.
Qcast.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was very excited. I was going to buy all $80 of it, but as it came out, the excitement faded, and I realized, oh, the game's still going to be in its current condition, and I really don't want to spend money on it.
What's up, Vass?
Yeah, I saw all the cool robots, I saw all the cool redesigns, and it was all great and all cool. Then the pricing, and no, I'm not gonna buy first a $20 shit mech, so I have the honor of buying another for 20 more bucks. That's like fucking cable TV pricing.
Well, I did the same thing. I basically looked at the mechs, and then I tried to think of what meta I could put into them, and then I realized I didn't have shit. Then I looked at them based on their aesthetics, and I said, wow, I really do love the Locust. Too bad it's not going to do dick. Valkyrie?
Honestly, when I looked at it the first time, I was like, okay, well, this actually isn't that bad of a deal, and I really do love the Battlemaster redesign. I love the original Racing Battlemaster, too. I honestly hate the ridiculous-looking cockroach head in a Slav's, tracksuit, the design that it had before. So I really like the Battlemaster, but at the same time, I thought to myself, this game has been on a downward slide since, March, and it's shown no real, indication of getting better. And then we had the patch last week, and that was good. That whole thing with the speed going up inclines and all that kind of fixed a few things, changed up the meta a little bit, and it looked good. And then I realized, oh, wait.
Yeah.
They brought Pop-Tarting back. Fan-fucking-tastic.
That's
and
for
so
later.
now I went from going, yeah, that was about a 7 out of 10 patch. Get one more good patch out like this month, and maybe I'll grab deal. And then I realized, oh, they're probably going to fuck up again some way. So I'm still I'm not completely writing it off, but at the same time, I just have this feeling that I have a particular point at which I'm going to be willing to spend the money on this game. And at this point in time, it doesn't look like PGI is going to cross that threshold. And I'm going to stick with that until something else happens. Until the game starts showing some real progress, or maybe Paul or Bryan or somebody comes out and gives us some actual, I don't know, kind of a timeline to kind of see where things are going, and they stick to the timeline, for Christ's sake. Once we kind of get an idea that, oh yeah, they are actually working to fix things, and they've got a good game plan to do it, and they're actually implementing things, holy shit, then that might put the game on the course it needs to be, and that might give me enough reason to grab deal. But in the meantime, no, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, Dashing.
Well, the website Smurfy, with the Mech Lab and all that stuff, they put the Phoenix mechs on there, and you can piddle around and see what you can make with that. And I have to say, when everything was first announced, I was honestly kind of excited because, get the Shadowhawk or whatever it was, the 55-ton medium mech. Like, that'd be really nice, because you get some missiles and some ballistics, and I've been messing around with it, and there's really nothing you can do with that mech at all. Like, there's the hard points, there's just not enough of anything, really, and it's too ammo reliant, so you have to compensate by putting on too much ammo, and considering the new meta, like, you have to put, and it's, Renus just said it's too DPS heavy. It really is. And this isn't about meta compliance, though. It's just trying to make a well-rounded mech, and you can't do that because it just doesn't have enough of what it needs to be in a protracted fight. And you're going to have to put jump jets on it with the new hill scaling thing, because that'll make it the only medium mech with jump jets that'll actually be able to go around and get anywhere. But at the same time, it's probably going to be bigger than a Centurion. I mean, like, look at the size of that thing.
It'll
like,
be the
it's
biggest
enormous.
mech in the game.
The whole time, everyone was like, "It's going to be a strike." I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I can. Laser?
Hit and fade. Anyways, sort of to go on what Valkyrie said, it's July 6th now, and we're used to expecting our creative director updates, maybe the 1st or the 2nd. And the 1st was a holiday in Canada, so not then. So I was hoping Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, and then that's in the end of the week, and we don't have anything. So I don't see a roadmap for this month. And the early bird, I don't think any of us are going to jump on the early bird. Maybe when the last day that's actually available, if they can fix the game by then, whatever, in a month or two, September, August, or whenever they close it out, maybe I'll consider $40 for the Shadowhawk, but that's about it.
Bass?
Yeah, see, about that creative director update. Problem there is they have to discuss third person. They obviously want to put that shit off as long as physically possible. Yeah.
They'll sneak it in like they did the fucking streak patch that still doesn't work. I just want to add a little addendum. They did add a streak patch to hopefully hit multiple targets on a mech. The only problem is once you destroy an arm or whatever, the streaks go after it, even though it's not there anymore.
I think that's funny.
And they'll be too far away from the mech to do damage, so basically the streaks are going into the void.
Yes.
Right, because it chases
but in the chat, who haven't tried
it chases
yet.
the skeletal hitbox, and when it's destroyed, there's nothing for it to collide into, so it basically just circles where it would normally be.
It
goes into the void. It goes into the void.
The unprecedented kings of certain weight brackets fixed, like the Stalker being Assault, it really won't matter much, the new mechs they introduced, because they won't change anything. You gotta fix that for the new mechs.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing that I actually said when I first saw this. I was like, oh, look, now I can spend $80 to be farmed by PPC Stalkers and all new mechs! Fantastic! Not really.
All right, Kalis.
So after reviewing the Project Phoenix mechs and looking at them all, I mean, they look good. They got good artwork, and they look fantastic. But the problem is, there's only really one that's meta-compliant with MWO, so they're going to be terrible MWO mechs, the Battlemaster being the one. Maybe the Shadowhawk, but the rest of them are going to be awful.
Yeah, I basically looked at it. The only one that actually sort of operates kind of is the Battlemaster, and I predicted it instantly, because all I had to do was look at what the weapons they carried. And I already know what most assaults look like, because all I do is pilot assaults. Like, you're not going to get anybody who knows anything more about assaults than me. Maybe Norris, or maybe Vass, but we know everything.
We know the heavy
And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, well, you can either put the PPCs in the arm or the chest, or move them all over hell. It's the same fucking thing. Basically a misery. I think it has a ballistic slot, doesn't it?
Way worse.
Yeah.
Fucking way worse. You can put actually 7 PPCs in the Battlemaster.
7 PPCs on the Gauss.
Yeah.
That's
if you're that crazy, you only want 1 ton with like no armor. People are gonna do it just because they're my alpha. So beyond that, we've gone to the movement patch, which I fucking hate. I hate it.
Atlas Pilot Tears.
Atlas Pilot.
It basically puts a nail in the Atlas Brawling coffin. There's nothing you can do.
Not only in the Atlas coffin, it's in everything that wanted to go, because you get stuck on rocks and bushes, cars, you name it, you get stuck on it. It doesn't matter what, you get stuck on fucking grass.
Kast.
Yeah, they introduced it. It works. It would have worked pretty well if it wasn't for the fact that they didn't factor in Atlas being able to step over things. Like, I can't tell you how many times in Termalin I'd be going under fire, a PPC bus trying to get to cover. There's a little crater. I walk into this tiny shallow crater and try to get out, but then it's like, oh, the angle's too big to get out of this 1 meter tall crater, and I get shot to death.
I think that this new movement thing is a really, really good thing, to be perfectly honest with you. When the patch first hit, I was kind of blown away by the fact that, oh, look, people are using things that aren't stalkers all of a sudden. This is amazing. And really, it doesn't make any sense for a lot of these mechs to be going, for the stalker to be doing what I call the Mako shuffle. If you've played Mass Effect, you know what I'm talking about, where it just kind of shuffles its way up a fucking 70-degree incline. It doesn't make any sense for them to be doing that. But at the same time, like UCAS mentioned, it really makes zero sense for, everything else to be going, fuck, I stubbed my toe, because you hit a car or something on River City and then getting stuck there while you get raped to death by PPC stalkers again. So I think this needs to be fixed in two ways. One, PGI's got to fix it that way, when you're over, depending on how tall your mech is, you should be able to step over certain things, even if it just means for the temporarily, for the meantime, you just clip through them or something like that. Like the Awesome should be able to, step out of the Awesome or the Atlas should be able to step out of a crater, or anything should be able to step over a car, that sort of thing. It just kind of make us that way. If the elevation changes it too high, you can override that sort of angle adjustment thing. The other thing they need to do is realize that all their maps are shit. Because that's the other big problem here. A lot of these maps would be working really, really well, and they'd be working really nicely if it weren't for the fact the map design was awful. Alpine Peaks, in particular, Alpine is even worse now, because now the guys on the bottom line have pretty much nowhere to go. They can go either to one of two ways now, or it used to be one of three. And either way that they go, they are still going to get raped from high-mounted PPC stalkers and PPC whatever the fuck you may have on the other team, who's just going to sit on the hill and shoot at them because they can't take cover, they can't pop up over hills anymore, they can't do anything. So you've made Alpine, somehow worse. I have no idea how they managed that. And at the same time, a lot of their other maps got worse too, because they were apparently supposed to be designed with this in mind, but they apparently forgot that, now one team is going to have firing corridors on the other one no matter what, and the other guys have nothing to do against that. Great.
Bass.
Alright, so, like Valkyrie said, it looked really good at first. I was surprised, and I knew something was fucked up, of course. They can never fit something in without fucking something up. So I went and I tried everything, then I discovered how you break the system and how broken the system is. And then the fun pretty much ended, because then the Pop-Tart play. It's a great idea, but PI's implementation once again fails. City maps are so fucking bad right now, like Alpine said.
Yeah, one of the things I was going to say, what people have already said in so many words or so, is that one of the problems is that you'll trip over these tiny rocks, which, thanks to the movement patch, they'll just slow you down in ways that they shouldn't when you consider you're this giant battle mech walking around. And there are certain hills, like tiny hills, that are just next to impossible for assaults especially to get up nowadays. And what this has also done, as people have said before, is it's also helped reintroduce the pop-tarting meta, because now mechs with jump jets are a lot more viable, because they can get to places that previously everyone could.
And screen check was reduced, but they didn't tell you this, but it is.
That's
And then, laser.
Yeah, I've noticed decrease in screen shake, and it's noticeable that the pop darts are coming back. Not to the same amount, but there's an uptick recently. On the first day, I brought my Catapult C1 out, so I had jump jets. Yeah, the first day was fine. It was you would run into all the people who hadn't read the patch notes, and they were getting stuck on everything. I was watching Centurions go to 0 kph on Caustic on the Caldera sides and the slopes, and Kalis and I eventually figured out that we need to run LRMs because we have a spotter, we have a spotter Raven, and I had my Catapult, and he had a Stalker, and we would just black out the sky with LRMs on mechs that would get stuck, and it was just beautiful. And we were on top of a hill on Caustic, and you saw this Jaeger and this Blackjack try to get up our hill, but they couldn't because they were getting stuck on the slopes of the hill, and we just would rain LRMs down. So, at least interestingly enough, they made high ground viable. It's just that you're getting stuck on a car or a fence post or just pebbles of steel.
Got bigger issues than that. To me, it's like they've impeded movement for everyone, and now it's carry the biggest engine you possibly can. Well, here's the thing. If you carry the biggest engine you possibly can, the only people who are going to benefit from this are going to be people who went with heat instead of tonnage, which means they're carrying PPCs. If they're carrying PPCs, they don't plan on moving at all. And if you're a brawler, your plan is to move. And you need to basically cut the distance between you and that guy, but you can't because your path is littered with obstacles, and you have to go around each and every single obstacle. You can't walk over them anymore. And once you do get to that hill, and you're right in front of the Pop-Tart, and you get caught on a rock, or you can't quite make it over the incline, and he just keeps shooting at you, and you can't move, and it keeps striking you. This is quite literally making LRMs, PPCs, any direct long-range weapon op as fuck. You cannot get into range to brawl. I've seen lights. It's actually made worse. The geometry on lights right now, with addition of the movement, means that lights are constantly getting stuck. I have a Jenner. Yes. It got stuck in Canyon Network and then Alpine and everywhere else. So if you turn and your model gets stuck in the wall, and it's going to happen even more often if with this recent movement patch because you're constantly trying to get over these hills and hugging them. It's just really not good. No,
it's a clusterfuck,
I don't
basically.
Like it.
Even if you like it and you think it's good and you like the idea of it, the implementation is so shitty it just doesn't matter.
And I don't know how to implement. Do you implement it on the height of the mech? Do you implement it on the lift of the leg? The type of leg? How exactly? What fucking dictates who can go over this fucking hill and who can't? Because there's so many fucking problems that would rise up. Well, okay, if the catapult can, then the Atlas can. All right, well, if it goes by height, then only tall mechs can do it. And then you're screwing over, like, the Hunchback or something. There's no way. There's no way. You can. No, even if you do the knees, there are still major issues. Not every mech bends, like, has a high knee. A lot of them have low knees, and they're supposed to be brawlers.
Well, it's a clusterfuck.
I feel like they did it because of the fucking Victor hero that was coming out. So they had to.
Oh, we'll talk about the Victor
buff
heroes.
Up a ceiling on movement because the Victor has movement in fucking spades.
The problem is they completely stop mechs at certain inclines, and mechs being bipedal should have the capability of still walking up a hill. Like, unless it's like 90 degrees or something, you know, you're going to be able to walk up a hill. Like, I mean, just realistically, anything on two legs can walk over inclines. It would slow them down, yes. It would make this, you know, give you a wider step or whatever. But the thing is, you could still clear hills and clear inclines and everything else. The problem with it is they completely stop things. You know, like a Centurion running at 106. You meet a little hill, bam! Speed is completely shot. You're not able to go up over hills. Like, mechs can barely get up over the hill to get into Upper City in the city maps anymore. And, you know, they all have to take the bridge now, and that means PPCs do nothing but pepper them the entire length of the way to Upper City. It's absolutely stupid.
If a mech bumps you, you basically reduce to nothing.
I was gonna talk about this, the pinning.
Well,
have you pinned anyone yet, Connor? Have you pinned anyone?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
It's fucking weird, because you can basically essentially prevent someone from backing up and turning around. You can shoot an Atlas in the back in a Jenner, and he can't do anything about it.
Nudge up against something, keep him in touch, he can't move out of the way, he can't move, stuck at zero.
My Jenner is having an awkward conversation with the Atlas as he's pinning him and shooting him in the back. Do you like this? How about right here? Does this feel good? No, I don't think it does, sir.
Oh no, don't touch me there, please! I want my liberties and my freedoms back.
Oh, God. It is just a bad idea, especially with what they had. I don't know who passed it, but no, it does not work.
Yeah, speaking as a experienced stalker and a pay-to-win misery mech pilot, a lot of the advantages of the stalker are still present. The high hard points help a lot more. I'm in a smaller capsule, so the hills don't impede me like a wooden Atlas, for example. And the mech is still incredibly effective, so they've done nothing to fix the metagame. In fact, they've worsened it.
All right, Laser?
I just wanted to say that on the first day, we were running an LRM boat on Frozen City, and the other team was a Brawling loadout, and you would see all of their assaults try to get into a death ball, and even out in the open, they were bumping in elbow to elbow, and when all their little movement capsules hit each other, they'd hit 0 kph, and all tried to figure out who touched who and move in the opposite directions, and they'd move forward a little bit again, and when they would get to some of the frozen rooftops of the buildings, they would get throttled into a choke point and bump into each other's elbows again, and all go to 0 kph.
It's so fucking glorious sometimes.
Oh, God. And then, I don't know who passed this, but they're dumb. I have nothing.
Yeah, let's move on. There's
All right,
nothing more to
we're
say
moving
about
on.
this. Go on, Mr. Connors.
Okay. So I guess Community Warfare has been pushed back. It's not guaranteed for launch. I don't know what's going on over there. There's talk of
Typical
2014
PGI.
for 2014 for Community Warfare. 2014.
I'd say final.
Basically.
Clan Warfare 2015.
Oh God.
Well, no, PGI did deliver. It's just that, like they said, Community Warfare is in stages. Right now, we're at Stage 0, waiting for Stage 1. Stage 1 being the worthless faction points and the stupid Shockwave flash map that'll be on the website. But right now, we're at Stage 0, where we're constantly in conflict with the community at large.
Well, that's the
So,
thing.
yeah, we did get
fucking-
Community Warfare.
If they don't get it out, how are they going to actually make any money off this
Community
grab
warfare.
deal for the Phoenix Project? Because you're supposed to get like a faction bonus on it, but without it, they can't get their grab deal. Because no one's going to buy that when it's not even out yet.
We don't know what
Yes.
loyalty points mean.
Yeah, Bass.
Yeah, basically, they've been promising us community warfare since forever, and most people call it mystical community warfare for good fucking reasons. Now, finally, at long fucking last, they're adding something. We don't know what it is yet. We know that they are planning on letting us pick a faction, and the faction will mean something. And we're supposed to be able to grind loyalty points. We don't know what the loyalty points do, but we're supposed to be able to grind them. That's all we know about Community Warfare, and that's the Community Warfare the game will launch with.
Anyways, on the recent NGNG number 79, which got out promptly, Russ mentioned that Community Warfare is in phases, and they've been dangling, these phases in front of us since at least May. And then they have the Phoenix Mechs saying, oh, these get extra loyalty points, and your cockpit gear will get you extra loyalty points, and we're a week into July, and we, once again, know absolutely nothing about Community Warfare, and at the same time are told to buy Phoenix Mechs that somehow apply to Community Warfare.
May I interject for a second here?
Yes.
Hey, remember when we were supposed to have this loyalty grinding shit in January? Hey,
Yeah.
remember?
I remember when they were promising and talking about that sort of stuff in December.
That's all.
Let's see.
Go
We've got
on.
a massive list of things that we've been promised. Still don't have them.
Yeah.
Did we go down the
Actually-
list just real fast?
We will here in a minute. I actually want to make a comment on the loyalty thing. We all know a while back that they basically said that they were going to bring in clan weapons before clan mechs. And they've got this system coming up. I'm actually wondering if they'll use loyalty points in order to purchase the clan weapons that they're going to release.
Maybe.
It sounds PGI-like.
It's a use for the loyalty points
Yeah,
anyway.
it's a use for the loyalty points, and then it's additional grind and moneymaker for PGI, so I wouldn't put it past them. And if that's the case, we're going to get our streak 6s, and then things are just going to get funny.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Get there soon.
Game over, man.
Bass, you got something to add?
Yeah, before we move on, the rest of the patch, nothing really. Wasn't a whole lot except the got a cash mech that's not very good. And they made streaks not always hit center torso. That's it. Really.
Okay, let's see. So, we talk about Ask the Developers 41, or...
Yeah, let's mention that, where Bryan talks about third person.
Okay. Well, I guess they're talking about third person. This is what I'm going to read out. If you are referring to normal and hardcore descriptors for the matchmaking buckets, these are not final yet. Training and normal would not work, as this would imply an offline mode for 3PV, which is not the case. 3PV is not only a great way for new players to learn to play the game, it's actually a really fun way to play the game. Our early playtests have resulted in some interesting observations, as hardcore 1PV proponents have taken a step back and seen the value and fun in 3PV. I expect once the 3PV mode hits the test servers in the next 30 days, players will find it not as powerful as featured or as intrusive into the existing experience. Rather accept it as an extension. Of course, as promised, out of the gates, players will be able to choose one, first person or third, mixed or just one, first person. Now, this is the thing that gets me. They say in their game testing.
Hardcore?
Yeah, well, who is their game testers? How good are they?
Darth.
DHB.
And all I can think of is I'm not sold on it. Because as far as I've seen, even at Valve, they have problems with shitty playtesters, people who are really not good at video games. So when I'm told this, and considering the way PGI has been about everything, I'm not sold. Sorry. No deal.
No
Laser?
deal grabbed.
Good luck seeing it within 30 days. I know Bryan mentioned that the private test of the 12 versus 12 servers is up, but wasn't all this promised a month ago? Like, this was mentioned in March, and it's July now, and we're already past the first week of July.
So what we have here, basically, is we've got the... Okay, so remember that movie Kung Pao Enter the Fist, and Chosen One's running across the field, and Link's on the other side.
Oh God!
And Link's going, Chosen One, and Chosen One goes, I'm coming, and then it cuts back to Link, Chosen One, cuts back to the Chosen One, I'm coming, and they do this for like 30 seconds, and he just never really gets any closer. That is PGI's content flow right now. We keep hearing, PGI, it's coming. BGI, it's coming, and it never gets here, and it'll probably get stopped by a tiny net at some point. But anyway,
You gotta stream that video now, though.
my upload sucks. I can't stream it for you guys. I'm sorry. We'll have to have someone else do it.
I can.
But
Jude,
the other thing that I have a problem with that I can see happening is we still don't know what the population of the game looks like, and my single biggest concern, as people have mentioned, they mentioned this the moment that third person was announced, is that what'll happen is no one's going to be in one queue or the other, and then Bryan or Paul or someone's going to come on and go, so for the sake of community unity and keeping up high player counts and reducing matchmaking times, we're merging third person and first person queues. Have fun.
Dashing.
The thing about third person is, while it's been in all of the other Mech Warrior games, this is specifically a multiplayer game, and even though you really can't corner camp in a game like this, it's still not what this game needs. That's the thing. This game needs a lot of things, and they're still trying to do things that they want. Well, it's not about what the developers want, it's about what the game itself needs. And they're using all these play testers and all this stuff, but they're not listening to us, even though it's an open beta.
Yeah,
if it's an open beta, and if it's a beta, you're supposed to be listening to all of the people playing the game.
No, all we got is sparklers and snakes. It's not about what you want, it's about the consumer.
But
Our
third person
project.
view and Coolant are the only ones I like.
Okay. Bass, go ahead.
Well, I just think it's great that they're calling the one mode they base the whole game around, one of their design pillars, hardcore mode, and calling us sim heads and a lot of other things. While third person is the new fucking meta. It's what everybody's gonna be playing. It's great. I love you, PGI.
Alright, so I'm looking at what's going on in the game, and honestly, I am terrified that third person is going to be the kiss of death more than anything else. Because, I'm sitting here watching this all play out in slow motion, and I'm going, oh shit, this is exactly what's going to happen. It's going to kill this free-to-play game. It's going to alienate everyone who is into it.
It's strange. We're basically the audience in a slasher movie where we're going, don't go in there! And they're going to go in there anyway.
And I just can't wait to see the Game Sutra retrospective where they go, well, in hindsight, we really missed a lot of our development timelines, and we just didn't really listen to the community about implementing third person.
In hindsight, maybe we should have stuck to the pillars. We should have stuck to our design pillars. Maybe.
In hindsight, telling your community to go fuck itself was a bad idea.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. That was a very bad
it didn't
idea.
really work with implementing coolant, so why would it work with this?
Kalis wanted to say one thing.
Okay.
Speaking on the kiss of death that Renus was talking about, I've been saying this lately, but essentially what they're going to do is they're going to force 12v12 in. They're going to put third person on top of that. Community warfare will not be in as promised. And then they're going to release this massive UI 2.0 thing that's supposed to all magically work together within 5 patches. Just think about that for a second.
We're already having bugs with the current one. In the Mech Lab, if you move your mech around, and then you hit cancel, your Atlas will do the Harlem Shuffle.
Harlem Shake, Connor.
Whatever. I don't know anything
It's
about
that
dances.
stupid video that went
The
viral.
Aram Shuffle.
Let's see. Okay, so let's go under content, features, and missing in action. Everything we ever wanted and still don't get. We still don't have gyro hits. That's a main one for brawlers. That would definitely...
Actually, I think what Kalis said at the time... Kalis, would you remind us what gyro hits are from the...
Alright, well this list is essentially things that were in the game, but are gone now. And basically they don't talk about them, so they don't have to say anything. Gyro hits were when you got critted on your gyro, that you would hear like this really loud, like a breaking spring noise, and about 2 to 3 seconds later, a mech would die. And you could hear other mechs gyros hit too, but that critical hit has gone away. And we theorize it went away when they combined the engines and the gyros together. So it probably is supposed to happen, but doesn't because piggy.
Well, here's the thing. There's also another issue of gyro hitting that we still don't have. There's gyro overload as well, which knocks a mech over from sheer force of hits. Now, we may not have that because getting hit with a single AC-20 would make them fly, but I'd at least like to see the mech get its torso's facing a certain direction, and it pushed completely away, like it did in Mech Warrior 2 and 3.
Well, they've said for sure they're never going to add that. They don't want that.
So basically they want everyone to be able to aim long range and always hit with their PPCs.
Yeah. We have so little shake now, so it's...
Basically, they want something that doesn't resemble Battletech whatsoever.
No, they want Mech Warrior 4.
Yeah, they do.
Well, even in Mech Warrior 4, if you got hit with a lot of shit, your mech would twist one way or the other.
Or it would fall over.
Well, this is the special edition.
Gyro overload.
Yeah. Okay, so
Warrior special edition. Everybody
ammo
can play.
explosions and their effects and visuals, everything was reduced. Do we have cooking? I don't think we have ammo cooking yet at all either.
I think it works in the training ground. We've seen pictures of it working in the training grounds when they ammo crit a Centurion.
Version,
I mean your ammo, your stove piping. If you keep firing and you cook off your ammo, if you keep yourself at 90% for a while,
that doesn't happen anymore.
We've never.
No. We've never had that.
Well,
yeah, it was only if you overheated and then overrode.
Well, that's not the same. That's actually damage to you because you're overheating. I'm talking about you're so hot and you've maintained heat for so long that you are now literally melting the ammo inside you.
Nope, never had that.
Something like that.
Well, no, I mean, it's not that it's I want it, and I think people talked about it at one time.
The problem with that is that hot mechs in a brawl will blow themselves up. So your Atlas with its 4 SRMs and its AC-20 will pop its ammo, and you'll just you killed yourself. Poof. Yeah. And people guess what? People will rely more on PPCs since they won't do that.
Well, then you'll melt your heat sinks. Okay, let's move on. The AC-20 reload sound apparently had a different sound. Now we've got a new sound. I like the firing, but I still miss the reload sound.
The reload sound is completely gone. It used to be a solid little chunks sound.
A clunk.
When you hear
like
the
a barrel rolling down into a chamber.
Oh yeah, it was fucking glorious. But now it doesn't exist anymore. Someone mentioned that the AC-10 has one though.
Yes, it does.
Something. Yes.
You can hear it sort of. It's a sharper clang. I actually think it's like the hammer getting itself pulled back. Working cockpit monitors. I've never seen these. This is something I don't know.
I have.
This is for old men only.
Yeah.
Back in the olden days, when we only had one map, and we had 4 mechs, we had working cockpit monitors. They didn't show a lot of information, but they did show some stuff about damage and heat.
Ammo,
yes.
Your actuators.
Heat sinks.
Yeah, I'd count heat sinks.
Well, we have the heat sinks still. But I'm talking about the one that actually showed some real information beyond that.
Do the monitors still show if your heat sinks have been destroyed? I can't remember. They did in closed beta.
I don't know. Everything just says no signal
sometimes they
these days,
show that you've lost them. Not always, but sometimes.
It always gave me an idea on how much my heat was getting tagged on. I could always see 2 to 3 heat sink boxes gone in red. The metal texture on mechs, remember when you would swipe over the armor and you'd see all that gritting and everything?
Remember when mechs are made of metal and not this
plastic?
Terrible plastic color.
That's what the Awesome's problem is. It looks like a plastic toy.
Yeah.
A big toy. Very big toy.
The old damage meshes. Yeah, that's part of it too. We don't have those. They looked all right. I mean, they didn't look too bad, but they were pretty cool.
And we have the potato-approved ones.
Yeah. Everybody turns into like a marshmallow. They're covered in bullet holes and black for no reason.
From flamers.
Even with lasers.
In machine guns make these huge AC-20 poked holes. And, no.
It's their artistic vision, Connor. Don't you agree with artistic vision?
No, I don't.
What they did is they took the Misery skin and they just applied it over everything.
Yes, they liked it so much. Everybody
so
got
fucking
it.
lazy.
Draw distance. You can actually kind of sort of get it if you get into your FOV and then like lower certain aspects of your graphics. That's how PPC Stalkers keeps hitting everyone from long range. But still, the draw distance is just horrible.
Now it's fog.
Remember
From 500 meters.
Remember the Atlas eye glow, and you would walk out of spawn and you get hit by it and you'd die?
Do.
Oh god!
But it was a cool effect. It's a really cool effect. I miss it. They could have added a button for it.
We really should
Very
keep
least.
going on our giant missing in action list.
Laser lines. Remember laser lines? I do not remember laser lines.
Wait, what do you mean
Write
by
the
laser
name
lines?
next.
You used to be
laser
able
lines.
to draw on mechs with your lasers, essentially.
Oh,
Very
that sounds
detailed.
amazing.
Oh wow!
If you look at that video I posted earlier, you can see it.
We have evidence of all this in action. So
Melting armor. Now I remember this bit: the melting armor, and then mechs would glow horribly.
yeah,
Oh,
They
then
didn't
they
always
fixed
glow
that.
brighter than the sun.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
they fixed it and they actually had like actual battle damage. It looked kind of cool instead of just, oh look, here's some cheap bullet hole effect. Fuck you.
bullet holes and black smoke all over.
I got hit by
Wow.
a flamer. Fuck you.
Useful brawling weapons.
Oh my SRMs.
SRMs.
SRMs, rest in peace.
Rest in
Freaks.
peace, Brawling.
Frickin' what else are
That's
we
all
missing?
we
Gauss
had.
rifle. I don't know why they made the Gauss rifle explode.
Because it was the
All
only
they
gun
had to
worth a
do-
damn.
All they
Those
had
Gauss
to do
cats,
was,
remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
the
they had to
Gauss
do was
cats.
fix it. To
Nope.
either move it to the center torso or this is ridiculous.
Nope.
Yeah.
Real life explodes 90%.
Mech scaling. Now this was almost gone as soon as we got the first mech. For some reason, it feels like the first 4 mechs we got are all to scale. You know,
They
you got the Jenner.
Most.
You've got the Jenner. You've got
It
the
doesn't even
Hunchback.
try to be in
You've
scale.
got the Catapult, and then you've got the Atlas. Then you compare it to any mech they released shortly after, and it's not to scale at all.
French bucket. Quick draw.
The fat frickin' Highlander quick draw.
It's quite telling that most of the mechs are in the medium capsule for the movement things. If you look at that.
I should post a link to that.
Well, it's because they're all so huge they don't know how to actually distribute them. You know, you've got a Centurion and a Trebuchet the size of an Atlas, and they're like, oh no, wait, but those are actually only 50 tons. So
What have we done?
Yeah. So screw it. That's medium. The Awesome's medium. What else can we make medium? The Stalker.
Quick draws medium. Stalker's medium. Only the Atlas is a huge mech. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Trebuchet, giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trench bucket and the Atlas.
Oh
are the only
god,
giant
remember
mechs.
the Gauss visual effect? The one that looked like Mech Warrior 2?
Yes. That was a long time ago.
woo bubble, the fucking blurring. Now it just looks like a blurred out AC-20 round or an AC-5 round.
Do you guys remember when, like, you would shoot at a cockpit and then it would create, like, the really bad flare or whatever it was and it would dim the cockpit?
Yeah.
Like, that was actually pretty useful when you had a flamer because, you know, you would aim it at the cockpit and basically keep the guy blind.
That
Yeah,
was
I
a
like
pretty
that.
bad idea, but hey.
It worked from time to PPC visual effect. I remember it. The new ones are just,
But to be fair, they've given a bit of a facelift to the people.
Well,
And
it
better
used
sound.
to leave a really cool afterglow effect
Yes.
that they kind of got rid of, and it's really small and tiny now.
Kinda bad. Everything for potato optimization.
Oh god, here comes the best one. DirectX 11.
Oh, tell them there's a new topic. This is about
you
the
want me to
Forgotten
tell them about
Promises.
the topic?
The previous stuff,
Forgotten Promises.
the previous stuff was missing in action. What content
Things we
what have we
lost.
had? Yep.
Because you know it's hurting the poor microwave computers.
We went back and looked at a bunch of old posts and everything to find things that PGI said they were working on back in August, October of 2012, and the things that still aren't here. But you might not have
Can I
forgotten.
use
But
my little what would you call it, an analogy?
Yes,
Tell
user
us.
analogy.
All right. Basically, it's like this. It's like MWO is a dolphin, and DirectX 11 is water, and DirectX 9 is dry land. And they're fucking trying to bring MWO to dry land, but you can't fucking bring a dolphin to dry land. It needs water. I mean, sure, it breathes air, but it still needs fucking water. MWO cannot get DirectX 11 up here, and they do not realize that if they just put it in, so many of their problems would be fixed.
Except for the part where they've got a development team who doesn't seem to know what they're doing.
And what's even worse is all these fixes that they've made in DirectX 9, what happens when they finally do fix DirectX 11, and they bring them all over and everything's like completely backwards?
They won't have a beta shield to hide behind them, that's for sure.
I know.
Soon.
But that's basically it. People on the forums are basically complaining that the reason picture-in-picture is not in is because Crytek has made issues with their engine. No, it's not. It's because PGI doesn't know how to code in their engine. I don't know why people are like that. They ask all those images of picture-in-picture, and people still claim. Have they not played Crysis 3 or even seen screenshots?
I haven't played any of them. I've posted those same screenshots on their forum. They're there to... They're there to review if you want to.
There's Pip in every Crysis game except for this one. You know why? Because they can't code. These people do not know how to code.
Hey, we have a picture-in-picture, don't you know? It's 8-bit and off-centered. Isn't that a great thing to pay your GXP for?
Yeah, and then it's just all these promises, and none of them are ever spoken about. No one ever brings them up. Sometimes they get brought up, but then they don't reply, so it sort of fades. AMS Toggle, you cannot toggle off your AMS. Gifting to other players. Vass has a treasure trove. Everyone has a treasure trove. And they want to give it to our new guys.
Has a
you can't even you can't even
Norris
tag.
could fucking load out our entire group like with the best shit possible, and have
he could
be
load
like,
out
no
2 of our entire group. He could give everyone whatever mech they wanted, and we can't do it.
I mean, he wouldn't, but you know,
laser.
I think what they mean by the gifting is that you can actually buy someone else MC. You can actually buy someone else a hero mech, and even when Phoenix rolled around. One of the questions was, can I buy Phoenix packages for other players? No, we don't have that feature yet. And they were talking about that late last year.
The cockpit damage. You know, every MechWarrior game has had a variation of cockpit damage, and we still don't have it. And it's so simple.
Yeah, I remember MechWarrior 3, first MechWarrior game I ever played, and getting hit by an AC in the cockpit, and you'd see the glass splinter right there.
Yeah, crack, and then there'd be right there. It wouldn't get in the way, but it'd be there, sort of. It was perfect. And then they still haven't even gotten third person in, and they want it. They've been trying for third person, they still don't have it. Vass?
Yeah, about cockpit damage. For those who have very short memories, we were supposed to get it back during the very first Artemis patch. Very first. That patch and the note said we were having cockpit damage. Never made it in, never spoken of since.
You Kast?
Yeah, I mean, cockpit damage can't be that hard to implement. You just change the mesh like they do with damage textures. But what I was going to say is, in MechWarrior 3, they already have it implemented. They have quite a few things implemented in MechWarrior 3 that they should be able to do online. Like when you get hit in the cockpit, you get it cracked. Is that hard to do?
I think often we say that they need to play MechWarrior 3 and just take features from that game and implement it in this game.
Okay, are you really wanting to lead this? Go on ahead.
Alright, basically, I made the list, so... you said no third person. The actual problem with that is they promised us no third person. It was actually part of the design pillars.
Hilarious.
And I don't think anybody remembers that, but it was one of those things.
The old man remember. The old man always remember. I doesn't want us to remember.
So the next thing on the list is no coolant. We were promised no coolant from day one, and, well, you know, their position changed at the time.
That was a dark day.
Yeah.
The new user
it wasn't dark
experience.
because the entire forums were on fire for the next 3 days.
Everything breaks. Everything goes apeshit. Oh, and wasn't it that we found out that we originally thought that meter on the right was for
mask?
Yeah, we thought it was for mask, and it
Just
turned
still not
out.
here.
Yeah, and then it turned out that it was actually coolant the whole time. So they had planned for coolant from the get-go. They lied to our faces.
Piggy doesn't lie. Shut your mouth.
The position just changes.
It changed from the
difference?
get-go? It changed as they were telling us?
And if I ever get elected president, that's going to be my excuse for fucking everything. Well, the truth was about position.
It's a very great thing.
That is such a good word too. Are they politicians?
I don't know, but whoever I swear to God, whoever the people at PGI, whoever is their PR team, they need to go work in politics because
I don't have one.
They are politicians to a fucking T, complete with their idiocy.
So further down the list, we have the new user experience, which was promised back in October 2012, and we have some YouTube videos that NG&G made that are out of date and not relevant.
Or to illustrate how out of date they are, they don't even talk about ECM. It wasn't in the game back then. That's how out of date they are.
Next along the list, we were supposed to get decals for our mechs, but we never received those.
Never mentioned again.
PlanetSide actually got theirs out, and they hadn't been working on it at all. They got it done in a month.
We were supposed to get in-game music a long time ago. It was promised, but we have heard nothing since.
January, February there.
Back past that, the dropship mutator was about October 16th. We were promised that one. And, well, you know what happened there.
Might get lobbies, Kalas.
I want to add something to this next one you're going to say, Kalas.
And then, well, that was off the dropship mutator, but specifically the Real Conquest mode. The Real Conquest mode being the one from the PC Gamer magazine that was promised.
One of the PGI devs, I remember, it was either at the end of November or beginning of December, was like, you're going to flip your head when you get this patch in December, guys. It's totally going to change everything. It was literally Conquest and ECM. That was it.
And one of the infamous quotes that I've outlined was, it's not just about running to a point. And that's what Conquest was supposed to be.
Oh, look what it is. It's about
That's gotta hurt them so much, reading.
Next, we're supposed to receive HTAL, and that's the hit location indicator from previous MechWarrior games where you had little bars that showed your head, your torsos, your arms, and your legs, thus HTAL.
Right. I like that one.
Next, they promised the overhaul to the radar system, as in giving us a radar system, passive and active modes, but, well, we've heard nothing since.
Maybe after launch.
December?
No.
Yeah, December.
Maybe
December.
It's a UI 2.0
We're
feature.
still stuck to the 3D spotting C3 system that frickin' Bad Company has.
Well, we have wall hacks now, so we're okay.
That too. It
don't need
it's
to work on it
almost
now.
radar. Almost radar.
We have a 220 meter radar.
God, yeah. Passive sensors online.
Alternate ammo types, specifically slugs for the LB-10X, and we're supposed to get different missile types as well.
Remember when you were talking to Garth about that, and then he totally spilled his spaghetti in front of you, and then it sounded like they were releasing purchasable ammo for MC.
That was fun.
God,
the forums were on fire after that.
we thought it was gold ammo coming, which I'm still
That's how we
waiting
worded
for.
it. I mean, what else are we supposed to believe or think?
Sajo Rain, the Trust Buster.
Yes.
The next forgotten promise that was never spoken about, hence, is Mask, which they are probably regretting and want to push on the carpet completely.
It would be... Actually, I'm wondering if they are actually going to do it at this point, because with the movement system right now, they'd go, oh, well, mechs would just move up hills like they were before with Mask. Sajo?
Yeah, here's what I think. I think they're gonna throw in Mask the way they did the movement system. Just gonna crowbar it to fuck in and leave it there for launch. They can say they have a complete game.
Well, I think
one of those 5 things: the SRMs, the Mask, the movement. One per patch.
I was thinking that they're going to do it exactly like they did Target Decay, which is, it's a feature we already had, it was part of the game. Crowbar it out and you reduce something that's broken, and then later you put it in as a module. I think that's what's going to happen with Mask. Dashing?
Well, they can't ignore Mask because they have to put the flea into the game.
No,
and
they don't
the flea,
have to.
No, they have to because
Well,
they
remember
released
the
concept
Raven?
art and they have guaranteed that the flea is going to be in the game.
Well,
Unless
that's
they flat out say it's
that's
not
the whole
going to be
point
in
of
the
this
game.
list, though. Guarantees that have never been spoken about since.
Yes.
But But the flea uses mask, and they can't have the flea put into the game until they put mask into the game. So, it's no mech until they put that gameplay feature in.
Exactly. That's why we're not gonna see the flea ever.
Okay, Jude.
I can't actually remember why they didn't already put mask in. Wasn't it? I think it was something like when a mech goes too damn fast,
too fast.
They just break and
when we had
too many Sonics.
When we had Dragon Ball Z Jenners where they would go poof 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 and then hit you in the back.
Fine. Although that actually reminds me, if you don't mind if I move to the next tiny subject, but collisions and knockdown.
Oh.
I remember way back at like the start of the year, the big thing that we would joke about is watch them put the Highlander in the game and not actually have collisions in, so no one can actually do a Highlander burial. And then look how many fucking months the Highlander has been in the game.
A complete joke came true. So basically, this is what people don't get. We take jokes. And then that's actually how we predict things here over at Kong. We take the worst possible thing that could be hilarious, and then
we have
a
a crystal ball.
Yeah, it's our crystal ball.
That's really it. Like, we sit around once a month and just think, what is like the worst thing they could possibly do, and they would never actually do that, and then, half a year later they
right out. All out.
Well, the most terrifying part about that is it's always a joke.
Yeah.
It's always a joke, and it always comes true.
We should probably stop joking.
Yeah,
but
we
it's
can't
fun.
have fun.
It's like
no
jinxing
laughter
ourselves,
for Kong.
guys.
Oh,
no
God.
more laughter, no
This
more
is
fun.
actually how we are. We're not like how we are in Kong.
But collisions and knockdowns haven't been spoken about. We know that they're coming back via the charge module, whatever that does.
Actually, Kalos, they have said something about collisions and knockdowns, specifically the Highlander burial. They said they wanted it in when they released the Highlander. Even that was a fucking long time ago now.
Awesome. And now you know why it's on the list.
Yes.
Stealing from World of Warcraft.
But in a way, it's kind of like I predicted. It's like you just take something out and put it in as a module. It's so easy. It's the laziest fucking thing you can do.
Get this for free, and now we have to pay for it.
Grab deal.
Grab deal!
They're going to do it. They're going to add mask and then another movement module, and the movement module is going to allow you to go back up hills.
They did promise that mask wasn't going to be a module and it was going to be equipment, but we also have the command module that does nothing too.
Yeah. That's later. Go on.
Okay, private matchmaking. We were promised that we would be able to do that, and I think they changed it. I think they said that we're going to have to pay for it or something.
Yeah,
that's been all over the place.
Oh yeah, and Chaos is like, they're trying to destroy me. They're not. They're just greedy and stupid. They don't actually give a fuck about your clubhouse.
Clubhouse is important, Connor.
Yeah, they don't actually give a shit about RHOD. Otherwise, they'd like fucking communicate RHOD, but they don't. So they really don't care about the competitive. They care about
dyslexia.
Hey, they want their MLG.
Yeah, they compare about your competitive group about as much as Nintendo cares about the competitive brawling scene. They don't give a shit. No, nothing. No. You're a group of kids in the basement, charging people to come inside. Nobody gives a shit.
Which is essentially why Nintendo directly made fun of them.
Yep. Which is why PGI directly makes fun of you.
Alright, next we were supposed to get the Critical Hits revamp, which essentially was supposed to redo them so they actually were a little more interesting than it just explodes randomly.
They haven't talked about that in so fucking long. I think we're stuck with what we have.
They added that critical system to the Stalkers, but personally, I haven't seen anything change with them. They still do their thing. Nobody cares.
Stalkers haven't changed. I can tell you that.
Nothing has changed.
I know, you were there telling me about it. You're like, I'm still doing what I did before.
Next, destructible props.
Oh.
Though I must add a caveat. This is, we have both a 1 killable tree and 1 killable light post.
Oh, and sometimes you can shoot the wall on River City with a big cannon, and it'll put like a little crater in there. Sometimes. Not all the time.
I want to add Heavy Gear had destructible props in a month.
Yeah.
No, I want to say that again. Destructible props in like a month.
MechWarrior Living Legends added that about 2 months after it was asked for. If you're
it was kind of one of the main features behind this whole engine, that you can track the terrain and shit.
There's editable. You could do it in MechWarrior 3, like it's Red Faction, like just blow a crater in the ground.
There's one thing you need to remember with destructible props is that they weren't in Bashop Pro, so they probably don't have any experience with it.
But the thing is, though, they've had destructible terrain and destructible props in every MechWarrior game. You know, like MechWarrior 2 and 3 anyway. It was kind of varied in 4, but regardless, I mean, like, that's just, you expect it. And the fact that it's not there, it just bothers you.
MechWarrior 4 had shootable streetlights. They had, breakable trees, even though they were sprites, but still, and bridges and other things.
Well, that's just part of BattleTech, is blowing shit up.
Yeah. Part of video game, period.
You got it, though. You got
Not
it right
only
there.
that, though. In MechWarrior 3, you could shoot a building, have it fall on you, and actually crush you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's those skyscrapers for the frickin' mech homes when you were on your way to the power plant in the first mech factory.
They need to add those 2D sprites of trees and people. It won't hurt people's machines then.
No, maybe. We don't know what the
people are running
Twitter community are running on.
Single-core computers. That's what they're toning everything down.
Next on this list, we got game voice macros. In other words, being able to give orders and such to your teammates and lance mates.
Get in position and wait for my go.
Voice
go,
macros.
Go,
Shazbot.
VGS.
Yeah, they could have even made their own BattleTech forms of, like, fucking cussing and stuff. Or done something.
Could have hired Malphus voice actor to do it.
Oh, God.
You dare refuse my
You refuse my bachol?
In before everybody's af neg neg.
Yeah, exactly.
Neg, af.
Just like in Counter-Strike.
Af lead.
Affirmative,
The entire...
Roger. Affirmative, Roger. Negative.
Fire in the hole.
Here's one I don't think we'll ever see. Ability to change your pilot name. This was promised early.
A long time ago.
Okay, I'm still waiting to be able to capitalize the V in my
months.
I'm still waiting to change my mech
It rhymes with penis, people. Come on. Someone help me out here.
Poor Renus.
Yeah, poor Renus.
Renus the penis. He hasn't been able to change his name.
You were never gonna be able to change it. They've forgotten about this and
Didn't
have no
they promise
intention.
that we'd be able to see mech names? I can't remember.
I don't
mentioned
remember.
it. They mentioned it and then said you wouldn't want to see what other people name their mechs.
Yeah, they don't want to see the Giga Nigga.
They don't want to see Big Nig either.
Or Niglet, the little commando. The black
no, that's
commando.
Tar
Babby.
And all this shit is just going to get cut out of the final.
Alright, so next on the list, we're supposed to get the Magnetic Anomaly Detector Vision Mode, which is, for those who don't know BattleTech lore, it allows you to detect large metal deposits, such as mechs, through hills and trees and such like that. It was promised very early on.
All you have to do is turn it to low, though.
Oh, God.
We haven't received Jettison Ammo.
For some reason, BattleTech...
Oh god, I'm losing my side torso. I better throw my ammo away. Nope, I can't. I'm dead.
Can't. You're exploding. Bye. Enjoy. QQ.
Reconnect after disconnect.
This
maybe next year.
Almost a while back.
Maybe actually, maybe 2014 because I remember when it was promised in 2013, and now it's like after launch, sometime in next year.
They need UI 2.0 for reconnect after disconnect.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh god.
They need everything.
You made a joke. Fuck, it's gonna happen.
I made a joke. Now that's what they're gonna say.
Improved zoom.
Yeah,
the zoom module.
The improved
picture
zoom
in picture
module is horrible and awful, and ever since closed beta when they first announced it and I ground out for it, it looks like EGA graphics. And they haven't mentioned it since.
Kalis, no one here knows what EGA means.
They are too young.
I'll do
16 color graphics. Think Atari.
You don't like Amiga? You don't like Amiga? What's wrong with
Not
Odell
in my
Lake?
Crisis
I
game.
think that's a little less than 16 color.
What's wrong with Oregon Trail? What's wrong with Odell Lake? You don't like it?
Problem is that it's in 2013. And yes, they love blaming this on some Crytek CryEngine limit, but if you've ever played a Crisis game, you can look into the fucking scopes and you have a picture-in-picture.
Just do it. Just do it. Just open up frickin' any video you want, any Crisis. Any Crytek game. Any Crytek game not made by PGI. We will give you it. We will link you to show you.
Maybe Connor, we are not engineers. Maybe there's something more to this. Maybe like picture-in-picture refers to some kind of concept.
Yes,
isn't like the thing in the Zoom.
Let's take all the screenshots and everything of PGI claiming they can't do it because of the limitations, then go up to Crytek and ask them personally. I mean, you're in Sweden, you can reach them.
They're not allowed to talk to Crytek.
No.
Yeah, just ask Crytek.
We got to get Literos on that shit.
Well, he's in Sweden. Yeah. Well, we could do that too. And you could ask him personally, is there no ability to do picture-in-picture? How is it done? And then get a recording of it and just paste it all over MWO forums and see what the reply is.
I don't think we need that because we have the screenshots already. Alright, let's go on to the biggest thing.
The next on the list is a piece of equipment we've had in the game since the game was released to the public.
Command
consoles. I bought a DDC for that. I bought a DDC for that. When I first saw the DDC had the fucking command module, I was like, that's the mech I want. Because I want to tell these shitheads what to do.
It does nothing.
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 It does nothing.
Absolutely nothing. It's free. It's a waste of C-bills.
And
let's give PGI a quick little idea and say, if you have a command console, you can take command in the battle map.
Yes.
That's it. Done.
Or give us more module slots. Give us anything. Anything!
You know what'll happen, though? We'll all just laugh at the guy who left the command module instead of putting, like, ECM or extra ammo. Why did you take that? We could figure this shit out on our own.
Hey, Connor, I got an idea. A suspicion. I think this is why we have never seen a DDC as a trial. Because it's made of useless fucking shit.
Yeah.
Why?
And you made a joke, and now it's going to be the next assault trial. Just watch.
I hope so. Give me an easy type farm.
Alright, next we have more variants of existing mechs. We were supposed to receive those, I believe they promised that around August. They said we're going to start seeing more variants of mechs.
Oh, man. Do you remember when Norris wanted the Atlas S?
We all wanted Atlas S.
Because it had 4 missiles?
5.
5 missiles. We SRMs.
I want the Atlas S. I didn't play the game and I want it.
Okay, sorry, it is 4.
No, hang on. The Centurion used to have another variant. I don't even remember what it was anymore. It was
Hey, can we shut up?
Yeah, the AH, and they cut that out so they can put the Wang in.
The thing about the AH is that it has the AC-20 and the LRM-10, and you can't zombie with it. And you could put it right alongside the Wang, just fine, since we already have today. Like, the Victor has 2 AC-20 variants, and the Hero one is a Gauss variant. You could put the Centurion AH in back where it used to be, no problem.
It's not going to happen, Laser, because grab deal. That was their first grab deal. That was their first one.
Deal.
Very first grab deal.
Grab
Get rid of this one, add a money version.
I remember when Yen Wang came out and everybody was running around with that camo. It was so fucking annoying.
I remember when this came out and everybody was saying that you had to pay to Wang now.
Yeah.
Pay to Wang.
Pay to fucking Wang. And now no one gives a fuck about the Wang anymore. It's so useless.
Alright, next we have the crouch function for our mechs that was promised forever ago, so you could hide behind, smaller cover.
We've ran out of letters, so we're going to numbers now. We went through A to Z, now it's like A1.
Well, now it's AA.
There's a lot of them. But yeah, when are we getting the crouch function, PGI? You promised. Told me they would be crouching.
For those of you with aspirations for track IR support, we've received no word about that. That's completely forgotten and lost.
Nope. Meanwhile, my copy of IL-2 1946 from a fucking decade ago still works with track IR5 just fine.
You can run it on Falcon 4, which is even older than that. A 1990 game can run track IR.
Hey guys, when are we getting Oculus Rift support?
Never.
Never. Guys, to be fair, track IR support won't work very well with third person. So
That's why we're not getting it.
Yes, Laser Falcon 4, a game that was made in 1997 or 8 or whatever, can absolutely use Track IR.
Connor, I remember one day I went to a gaming store and I picked up the copy of Falcon 4, and the box weighed 20 pounds.
Because it's the manual.
It's got a manual in it that's over
An
1,000
actual-
pages long. It's
Yes.
you got the binder version? You should have bought that! Ah!
There's also a VHS that comes in there, I think, if I remember right.
Oh my god.
It's a VHS or something. It basically actually teaches you with pilots. You know, I'm such and such. I'm a retired pilot, and I'm going to tell you about the F-16, son.
Enough
Son.
about good games.
Son,
Enough about
how
good
many
games, Connor.
All right,
you
we're
take?
talking about bad games right now.
Yes.
Okay, bad
go back
games.
to
And
bad
for the
games.
final thing on our list of forgotten promises that have not been addressed is
Oh.
SLI and Crossfire support. Yeah.
There is a hack for it.
Yeah, there is a hack for it.
You have to tell your SLI.
Doesn't work always.
Yeah, you have
And
to
just
tell
like
you.
that, you all just signed up to get banned the next time they do a patch.
Probably. Rip.
Oh, so you mean you got banned because you're running the SLI NVIDIA control panel hack?
Yes. Yes.
Son, today we're gonna sit down and talk about the F-16.
God.
You're a few minutes late, but still, thank you.
Yeah.
And
I
thus
didn't know what the
ends
hell it was
the
about.
list of forgotten promises that PGI has not mentioned or talked about since.
It will probably get longer as we dig. Now for something a bit different.
Live streaming.
Ooh.
Considering I'm the only person
This
who
is
watches
the part
it.
where we directly
Laser,
attack
you should
IGP.
probably
Yeah, this is
Take
where
this
we directly attack them and then compare them to Chris Roberts. One man.
With a
Seriously,
vision.
I watch
Give it a laser.
almost every IGP, not NGNG TV. I don't have enough hours in the week to do that, but I try to watch as many IGP streams with Phil, and it is really the only time you get to interact with the PGI developers outside of the forums, and to be honest, you don't really see them posting on the forums anymore. On top of that, Garth is there,
That's
so you can
because
at
they
least...
can't navigate their own fucking forum.
Russ was there on Friday, but Garth... Okay, sorry, Russ was on the stream on Friday, and he was a bit cordial and humorous about, oh, well, at least you aren't yelling at me to fix the game while we're dropping here casually on the IGP stream. Garth tends to be quite responsive lately, but the thing is, I know he's the community manager, and I respect that, and he's kind of grown on us lately, but we also know that sadly he's more of a glorified playtester, and he isn't told anything until the last minute, and the suggestions he feeds us up from us aren't getting talked about in the higher ups who can actually do anything.
I spent all of Sunday night last week basically writing up a giant list of suggestions that I sent over to him, and I'm sure they're just rotting away in Bryan and Russ's email box for the next year.
Those would probably go to Paul, actually.
Okay, well, they'll rot in Paul's email inbox for the next year then. My bad.
But on top of that, during the week that they had the Operation... it was Operation Phoenix? Or Project Phoenix? When they were showing off all the pictures. Yeah.
Project Phoenix.
On the 29th of June, Chris Roberts went on to do a 24-hour live stream to make as much money as possible in sort of a last bid push to get the $12 million milestone, was it? Yeah, it was $12 million during the live stream, and I was excited the entire time, and I completely forgot about Project Phoenix. And I was kind of sitting there thinking, I really kind of wish I could see PGI even do like a 1-hour live stream and say, oh, this is us doing this playtesting instead of interacting on Twitter. And I know Bryan has sort of dangled, you want to see some Twitch streaming of us doing 12 versus 12 or the next map or the next mech, and that could actually, get me excited about the game. And I'm not getting anything out of that. So Chris Roberts basically rained on any of Phoenix's potential for that week since I was completely enamored by the live stream. And I was thinking, why can't PGI do this?
Because they're terrified of their community and interacting and sharing any of their information. They have to
No transparency.
keep it very close to themselves. Like it's like, I don't know.
And in that entire time, they rose like 250,000 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, all those Idris Corvettes.
Tell us about that.
9 minutes.
9 minutes. 9 minutes.
Laser was there. Tell us in detail about this event, Laser.
Tell him what
I watched them put up 150 Idris Corvettes for $1,250 US each, and every time I would refresh the page, 2 or 3 more would be sold out. And then maybe an hour and a half later, they put 50 more, and they sold out in 2 minutes. So that's $250,000 right there for a piece of digital property.
Could you imagine Russ or Garth or somebody foaming at the mouth if they could sell a $1,000 mech?
Well, like Captain Ahab said, that's a whole MWO map. Like Alpine, for example.
God.
Suddenly it's Beaky.
Oh, yeah, hey.
Hey, Beaky.
We love you, Beaky.
We're almost
Hey,
done,
guys.
man.
Yeah, I know.
We were
Frequently
talking
doing
about
things.
We were just
Go on,
talking
Laser.
about how go on, Laser.
What I really think that, doing something like a live stream 24 hours, they've mentioned that UI 2.0 would have the ability to have sort of the time-based sale that say, for the next 10 minutes you can buy X mech or X MC or X piece of whatever, paint patterns for 10 minutes, 10 minutes on sale, and they can be on the live stream and interacting with us, and we can be chatting with them, and we can be on, NG's TeamSpeak and doing drops, and heck, even the autism charity for, I forget, X Impaler X. They weren't even dropping. I was literally sitting in their live stream listening to George Ladow do his, just sort of give a background on how he became the voice of Duncan Fisher. And then, Jordan Weissman showed up, and, I wish at that time more than Garth.
They didn't play.
Yeah, they didn't play. I was watching them just do an interview.
Nothing. No,
yeah,
nothing.
and it was great. I mean, I didn't mind at the time that we weren't playing the game, but I felt really engaged and say, hey, George, he isn't MWO, he isn't PGI, but it's MechWarrior related, but I can only give money to the charity. Why can't PGI say, let's do a live cast and let's do a sale at the same time and people can watch us and look at all the devs do a 4-man and get their butts kicked or kick ass and do some other things, and there's a sale going on too, guys.
Okay, Kalis?
Well, as we learned recently, we know Chris Roberts and such allow their fans in to see the game, and they have them check things out, and they play with the game, what they have and such. Well, we learned that PGI makes you sign an NDA if you visit them.
Wow.
Yeah, the goons visited them. Anders was up there, and he mentioned it on the podcast, and they blip out a couple of lines, but they say things are looking good, but we haven't earned NDA, so we can't talk about it.
Sure.
No, that was it. I just wanted to point that out. The lack of transparency and the transparency juxtaposition.
Cast.
Yeah, because we're nearing the end of the stream, I'd like to say a few things that PGI did do right, I'd have to say. When they changed the sounds for the PPC and AC-20, I think they were very satisfying, and especially the
I
autocannons.
really like the sounds.
Like, the autocannons actually feel like you're shooting a cannon instead of just a large gun. Like, just bang, and it's pretty satisfying. So the sounds went in the right direction.
You can actually hear the water now on canyons as it flows by. And you make big steps, you make big splashes, and jump jets and have this really cool smoke effect. So we can at least say those good things about the most recent patch. It's just that it's really hard to get excited over MechWarrior Online anymore, and we sort of have the past patch day, 4 to 6, 4-4-mans going at the same time during patch day, and then once the tryhards figure out the new meta, they start kicking our asses and we lose all hope. Visago, what do you have to say?
Yeah, about all the patching while we're on the subject. They have 5 patches left. Really, it's 4 patches there because last patch is gonna be these. Good patches will not cut it anymore. They have to be great. They have to be outstanding and of exceptional quality. If they're not, this is...
The biggest joke of all is if the game is basically as it is now, as it's been for months, and it releases exactly like that. That is the biggest joke.
And then every reviewer doesn't even accept their bribes with how shitty it is.
Are they going to bribe them with great deals?
Yeah.
Yes.
PC Gamer might.
Oh my god.
Give it a 10 today and get your very own
How much
Battle
did they
Master.
pay them? Holy shit.
I'm wondering if it was kind of a mutual deal. It's like, hey, we'll give you advertisement if you guys give us advertisement, because the Coconut Monkey was like the first thing that a lot of people had thought of in years regarding PC Gamer.
Well, actually, the thing about PC Gamer was the review wasn't that positive about his gameplay. He was fair about it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Best FPS of all time.
Go ahead, Laser.
To be honest, I think I have this bizarre theory that some of the things are completely sandbagged so hard around UI 2.0, and we're in July now, and this game's supposed to launch in September. The Jesus patch that we've mentioned once or twice in the podcast before.
The way things are going, almost betting the farm on the fact that UI 2.0 will release just before major release. It'll basically be the last patch, and then the next one will be released. And then it'll be like, it won't work. It'll fuck up or something. I guess that's it.
So Russ Bullock, on June 15th of 2012, said, "Okay, back to managing expectations of the content of the game once you get access. The same logic applies to both those that are and will be lucky enough to get a beta key and those gaining access to the game on August 7th through the Founders Program. Come August 7th, when the customers of the Founders Program gain access to the game, we are still going to be in closed beta. Therefore, not every feature we have discussed on the website will be playable. Currently in the beta, we have been introducing a patch every 2 weeks where more features are included, and that process will likely continue up until open beta and beyond. The end result is that we expect to have each of the features we have announced and discussed on the website in the game by the open beta date, with one unfortunate exception. That exception is the community warfare pillar. It's a big one."
Hey guys, it's a beta.
Yeah, it's a fucking beta.
Leave them alone.
5 more patches, then it's not a beta anymore.